Welcome to Locked On Heat. I'm Wes Goldberg, and on today's show, we talk with Zaire Wade, the son of Miami Heat legend Dwyane Wade, about his decision to skip college and go straight from high school to the G League, how he was, in fact, surprised to get drafted by the Salt Lake City Stars, and why he has an underdog mentality despite being the son of a future Hall of Famer. That's all coming up next. You're not going to want to miss this conversation.
You are Locked On Heat, your daily Miami Heat podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Do you consider LA home at this point? Because you moved around a lot.
No, I consider Miami home always, but LA was the most recent place I lived, so.
Gotcha. Well, that's kind of what I want to ask you about too, because you grew up moving around a lot: Chicago, Miami, LA, now Salt Lake City, and then all that before you even got drafted to the G League. Do you kind of feel like already you kind of lived this NBA player lifestyle a little bit?
I wouldn't call it like an NBA player lifestyle, but I think I've lived a busy lifestyle of traveling in general, just bouncing around. Like even last year, I was in New Hampshire for a few months at Brewster Academy, so I'm pretty used to traveling around and stuff. But I wouldn't call it NBA lifestyle. But yeah, definitely something along those lines.
I mean, imagine it could be pretty hard at times too. I mean, obviously you had a goal in mind of getting to the NBA, and you're reaching that goal now. But I can only imagine as a kid growing up, moving around a lot, that had to be hard sometimes, right?
Yeah, man, it definitely was a challenge, but I think it helped me with adversity and just if I have a certain amount of friends in Miami or a situation that I thought was good and I had to move from there right away, change it all, just having to adapt. I think that really helped me, especially coming here with these older guys, just having to adapt, all that stuff.
Can you take me into that? I know you've been asked about this a ton, but can you take me into the decision to go straight to the G League and just bypass college or anything like that?
Yeah, man. So the decision kind of started, first of all, I never knew I was going to the G League until like very recent, but I'll get to that. My senior year, I was at Sierra Canyon and I tore some ligaments in my ankle, and that had forced me to kind of sit for most of the season. And then even when I came back, had some problems with playing time with the coach, whatever. So I felt it was best for me to go to prep school just so I can get seen one more time to go to college. That was the plan. I had some offers at the time. I just wanted to increase them a little more and things like that. And once we went to prep, unfortunately, COVID happened. Couldn't really play any games there. I think we only played like 5 games, maybe, something like that. The rest was just all scrimmages. So after that, no colleges really were like sold on throwing an official offer because they didn't have enough film for the past year and a half, really, like full game film, So they was like, my dad was just sitting there like, hey, I think a big reason about just going for it was my RIP to my brother Terrence. Before he died, he always told me just go for my dreams, just take it, just go for it. And that's one thing I remember he always told me. And one thing he did, he just going for it all. So I was like, our first initial plan was to go overseas, go to the pro round in Australia. I had a few workouts with the teams. Actually went great. Actually went well. A lot of good feedback. I was gonna fly over there like September or October or something like that, but man, just exploring all the options. And my dad was like, we could always give the G League a try, see how that goes. And he was like, you got to put the work in, man. So that's what that came about right there.
You did have offers though from like Nebraska, a couple of other places, right? I mean, was Gabrielle Union pushing you to Nebraska? Was she really upset when you decided not to go there?
She wasn't pushing me as much as people think. She was just she was very happy to see that Nebraska genuinely saw a lot of interest in me because that was one of my first official offers that I got. So.
So you scored 10 points in your G League debut. You've played a handful of games now. You're a month into sort of your G League career. How's the experience been overall?
Man, it's been great, man. I'm learning. I'm learning. This 19. I just came out of high school, so playing with all these guys here is fun. Every day they all pick me up like big brothers, and sometimes I may get in my own head because something happens that I messed up on in practice or something, but they always pick me up and I always, correct it after that. But as far as in the game, I'm just finding my niche, finding my role and my minutes. I think the first game was just getting out there, Obviously, I had the 10 points, but we didn't come up with the W that game. So now I'm focused on just during my minutes, how can I help the team win? And coaching staff always tells me that we have scorers on this team. So I know from the outside looking in, a lot of people are looking at my averages and things like that. But if they come watch a game or two, you'll see that I actually affect the game when I'm in there, and it's not just off the scoring.
What are some of the things that you're working on personally? What are the things that the coaches are drilling you on? Tell me about, sort of this development process for you.
I think the first and foremost thing is defense. Just turning it to a defensive pest. Just being my height, my size. Gotta be able to guard 94 feet. So I've been trying to take on that challenge in the game of just playing defense first. In high school and stuff, I mean, it's kind of different. Nobody takes defense as serious as they do out here, obviously. So, and you got to, or else you're gonna get exposed. But I think that's the biggest thing for me. Just coach been telling me, just defense. That's gonna start with my minutes, earning them on the court. That's what's gonna keep me out there essentially. So that, and then making the right reads. I'm a good passer, but I've been having to work on like when to pass or who to pass it to, and if that makes sense. So just things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been videos of you in the past working out with NBA players, Jordan Clarkson, Ben Simmons. Obviously, you've hooped with your dad. I mean, what can you take away from playing with NBA guys, with a lot of experience and all-stars and stuff like that? And what have you been able to apply to your early, like just this first month in the G League?
I think the pace, when I play with those guys in the summer, the pace is really fast.
Yeah.
And it's not even an official game. It's obviously a pickup, but still the pace is fast. They shoot, they get out and run after the shoot. So same thing here in the G League, man. Guys, ball goes up, got to hurry up, sprint back. That's a big thing on our team, transition defense, things like that. So I think playing with them, those guys like Ben and Jordan Clarkson and John Wall and all those other guys, I think that helped me just with my pace and learning how to read the offense, because those guys are big, and it's not like high school where you see the whole floor. They kind of take up a lot more space now with their length and their bodies. So just little things like that, being able to knife through and stuff like that.
And look, you were at Sierra Canyon. There's a lot of attention on you guys. You had a loaded team. It was you, Bronny, BJ, and now you're in the G League. And I've covered G League games before. It's a different kind of environment, right? There's not a ton of cameras, not a ton of media coverage and stuff like that. But it kind of, to me, it always felt like just pure hoops, just like a pure hoops environment. Has that kind of been your takeaway too? What's that been like, just to be able to work on the game?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I think high school wasn't a distraction. It was fun, obviously, but man, we had 20,000 fans at the game, and we played in Minnesota, I think, and like people weren't allowed to come to our last game in the G League. Put it that way. So just like the difference of focusing in on the game and like not having all that extra worry about, and not just with fans, like cameras. You see ballers live their shirts, slam, whatever, and you kind of get distracted as a high school. You're like, oh man, let me try to do something, do this, but now it's like, nah, there ain't no guys on the baseline trying to catch your highlights. It's like, coach is going to drill you if you do something wrong in the film. So that's what you're really trying to play for now.
Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues the march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all of the sports action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all of the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. It's BetOnline, where the game starts. And on your Instagram, I've noticed you use you talk a lot about being, an underdog. You talk about the haters. And I think, from the outside looking in, a lot of people who don't know you would say haters, underdog, this guy's the son of a future Hall of Famer. He's living in Hollywood. Tell me where that comes from.
I mean, if you go ask anybody, what do you think about Zaire Wade, or do you think he's going to be an NBA player? Most of them don't say no. I don't think he's good. I think he's trash. So that's where it comes from. It doesn't matter who my dad is. That's an underdog right there, right? But if you go ahead and ask who, let me see, maybe somebody like Paulo, like the number one pick, obviously going to get picked up. You think he's going to go to the league? He'll say, the other person will say, yeah. So therefore, I view myself as an underdog because I have a lot of doubt against me, and a lot of people honestly wishing that or hoping that I don't make it and I don't succeed, which is fine. So I don't want people to think like I'm saying I'm poor or anything like that. Like I've been so blessed, my family, man. I thank God every day for the situation I was born into. And like I tell everybody, I didn't ask for this, but I'm blessed to have it. So I'm not trying to say anything about anything with money or anything like that. I just feel I'm an underdog because not a lot of people believe me. So.
Yeah, and that video of you getting drafted, that was online that you guys posted. I mean, that's moving. I mean, that's moving. What were you thinking going into that day when you get picked number 10? Like, just tell me about that. What were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Well, you believe me or not, I didn't think I was gonna get picked by Salt Lake at all. I don't know why, but I was just like, nah, like I don't think so. And then even if I did, I was like, I'm probably gonna be in a different round or whatever. I don't know. I was just having thoughts running through my head back and forth. It didn't matter to me what round I got picked or where I got picked or anything. I mean, obviously where as in I would love to be here in Salt Lake, but where as in what number. I just was hoping for the opportunity, man. Just have an opportunity. I've been working so hard just to be able to come and learn with all these pros every day. So when I saw my name, man, it was like we all saw it at the same time. So, I mean, everybody started screaming, but I definitely think, like, right after the cameras went off, I just started crying a little bit because I was like, damn. A lot of people tell me, like, I see a lot of comments of people saying, oh, you're not supposed to be there in the G League and all this stuff, it's that, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, a lot of people last year were saying that, like, they didn't think I was going to be here, Like, they didn't think I was going to make it here. So that alone is it's enough for me that I'm here. Now I just got to keep going. Get to the next one.
I know you guys said that you didn't know that you were going to get drafted to Salt Lake and all these things, and obviously it was very clear that you didn't. But then there were reports like 10 days before the draft saying that Salt Lake City Stars are gonna go ahead and add Zaire. Like, why do those reports come out? Where does that even come from, do you think?
That's the media, man. That's the media switching up things. I'll tell you, everybody who was going into the draft had to sign a player contract. And as you know, Jello Ball signed his, and the big news came out and was like, Jello Ball just signed his player contract in the G League. And that didn't mean that he was going with the Hornets. It just meant he signed the standard contract for the G League. So the day after, my dad was like, you ready to sign your contract? Not saying that you're getting signed, but your standard contract for the G League, like to enter the draft. And I was like, yeah. And it was a big decision. He took a picture of me doing, proud dad moment. And he posted it up. And I guess people thought I was signing a contract directly with the Stars and just having a spot on the team. And I was like, nah, like, I mean, man, I'm not about to go out my way to try to, get the whole world to be like, nah, that's not what it really was. But I mean, it's just crazy to see that when they posted about Jello, nobody was saying nothing. And then when they said the same exact words, well, not the words, but when the same situation happened with me, they switched the words around and made it seem like I just signed directly with them.
Gotcha. So everybody talks too about having a welcome to the NBA moment, and I'm sure that'll happen. But as far as a welcome to the G League moment, is there anything like that you have?
Oh man, just you mean like on the court or off the court?
Either way, you take it wherever you want to go. Both.
Who was it? I think it was. I tried to go for a rebound, and Udoka tip dunked it on me. I was like, "Oh, this ain't high school. You can't just rebound over the bigs no more." that was pretty early in my practice. He put it on my head. I remember that. So that was my welcome to the G League moment.
Gotcha. All right. Well, those were all the questions I had for you, Zaire. I do appreciate the time here. Just one more. The goal obviously is to make it to the NBA. What do you think your next steps are? How do you get there?
Man, first I got to get this mental thing down pat. I think it is for me. Just staying mentally locked in, just getting over this hump of listening to the outside noise and all that extra stuff, things like that. But on the court physically, I think it's just to keep improving every day. Coach telling me that I'm trying to build a brick wall, and you can't put all the bricks on there at once. Day by day, place one brick at a time perfectly. So that's what it is for me, man. Right now, I'm just placing the bricks perfectly, trying to get better every day at practice, and then every game add something a little bit more.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck.
Thanks, Mr. Goldberg.
Big thanks to Zaire Wade and to the Salt Lake City Stars for organizing that interview via Zoom. And make sure to check out the Q&A portion of it, the feature story I wrote about that interview over at wesgoldberg.substack.com, the West Side. And if you're not subscribed, just get that automatically in your inbox. Just do that, and then you don't have to worry about going to the URL. It's that easy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for taking the time to make Locked On Heat your first listen every day. Remember that every episode is always free and available wherever you get the show. So make sure you subscribe to get the best coverage available. Make sure to also check out Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. This is David Ramil signing off for now. Thanks for joining me, Wes.
Wrap it up, B. Congrats, you made it this far. While you're here, why don't you hit that subscribe button down below? It's free for you, and it'll help feed the Locked On Heat Flamingos.